Now, right now, global markets are reacting to headlines, closures, reopenings, threats, and talks. Oil prices are swinging wildly, shipping routes are shifting, and policymakers are scrambling to contain volatility. But beneath this visible chaos, a deeper and far more consequential disruption is quietly building. And this is the invisible supply shock. Since the escalation of the Iran conflict, millions of barrels of crude have effectively been taken out of the system. Not always through outright destruction, but through disruption. Exports are being delayed, rerouted, or blocked altogether. Tankers are idling or taking longer routes. Insurance costs have surged, making shipments commercially unviable in some cases. The result is that the supply is not gone, but it is no longer flowing freely. At the same time, major economies are leaning on strategic petroleum reserves to smooth out the immediate effect, and these reserves are acting as a temporary buffer, masking the true extent of the supply crunch. But this is not a permanent solution. Strategic reserves can buy time, but they cannot replace sustained supply. And that's where the real risks lie. Now, because oil doesn't impact the global economy instantly. It moves through layers. First comes crude disruption, then refining bottlenecks, then higher transport costs, and eventually it hits consumers through fuel prices, logistics, as well as inflation. Now, this lag effect means the biggest economic consequences of today's disruption may only show up much later. Well, for countries heavily dependent on imports, especially across Asia, the exposure is even greater. Any sustained tightening in supply can translate into higher current account deficits, currency pressure, and imported inflation. In other words, the shock has not disappeared. It's just delayed. Markets may celebrate temporary reopenings or diplomatic signals. Prices may cool briefly. But unless supply flows normalize consistently, the underlying imbalance continues to build.